Hi guys, it's Alex here with Recombio, and I have here the Samsung Galaxy S3 and the Samsung Galaxy S3 LTE. Now, at first glance, both phones are basically identical except for the LTE functionality in the S3 LTE. There are a few other little differences that I want to point out to you guys, just so you know if you're thinking of buying either of these two devices. First and foremost, this grey colour, it's actually called titanium grey, is only available on the S3 LTE here in the UK. It's a really nice brushed effect that you can get, and it looks really, really good if you want a slightly more professional, more sophisticated looking S3 over the pebble blue or the marble white that comes on the standard S3. Beyond that, visually, the dimensions of the phones are exactly the same. They're the same hardware on the front that's visible, the same hardware buttons, same capacitive keys, same 4.8-inch 720p HD display, same front-facing cameras, and on the back, same camera as well, same 8-megapixel camera on the back. The only other difference you might be able to spot is the fact that it does say LTE down here on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that in the light. And of course, this being one of the first 4G handsets in the UK, it is running on a EE's 4G network. Now, if I unlock the devices, usability-wise, the interface is still buttery smooth. Both devices come running Jelly Bean nowadays. The only significant difference is in benchmarking. We'll notice a slight tweak and a slight uptick in how much faster the S3 LTE is, and that's because it has an extra gigabyte of RAM. So the standard S3 uses 1 gigabyte of RAM, whilst this S3 uses, the S3 LTE uses 2 gigabytes of RAM. They both share the same 1.4 gigahertz quad-core processor, and aside from that, they run apps and games very, very similarly. So you won't notice a massive difference in the overall performance. I can just show you a few quick comparisons that we drew earlier. Oh, not quite right. So you can see there's a slight increase in the performance of the LTE S3, but the results are very, very minor unless we do a speed test. Now, of course, this is running on EE's 3G network and this is running on EE's 4G network. So we got nearly over double, and in official quotes, EE actually say that 4G is 5 times faster than 3G. But in real world testing, there's too many variables to really say whether that's going to be accurate every time you try it out. And in this case, it was significantly faster, even though it wasn't exactly 5 times. Aside from that, the usability of the phones is the same. The only other difference we've been able to find when comparing these two devices is that the S3, the non-LTE S3, still maintains an FM radio when you plug in headphones. This functionality seems to have been removed from the LTE S3, perhaps due to the configuration of the radios to accommodate the new 4G radio or antenna that's inside this device. This is actually something that Samsung have done previously with other LTE Galaxy S phones as well, so it's not a new quirk, it's just something that happens when they choose to make an LTE version of their top Android phones. So aside from the radio, the extra RAM, and the slight bump in performance and 4G connectivity, these two devices are very similarly spec'd. Just a case of which one better suits you.